How did the company get started?
So back in 2006, a man named David Dale started it. He was living here in Laos and had married a Lao lady. He'd been working previously in an agricultural business but was looking for a cash crop for hill tribe farmers to be able to grow that was significantly better than the crops that they'd traditionally grown of corn, rice, citrus and other things like that.
So when did you get involved with Saffron Coffee?
So I started at Saffron in 2015, in about April, and our I guess agenda back then was to learn as much Lao language as we could. We have just Lao employees, bar the director and I, and then many farmers that we work with. So the aim is to be able to communicate with them as much in their native tongue as possible. But within about 6-7 months, the needs of the company had changed dramatically. The director's wife was a little ill, and the old director was moving out, and the new director's wife was ill, and so we needed to take on a few more responsibilities. And so by the end of 2015, we were in full swing.
Awesome. And is it difficult for expats to start businesses in Laos?
I think if you're following all the right rules, it's difficult and expensive. It's quite expensive. There's the licenses for expats is a lot higher. If you can find a Lao partner that you can work alongside of, who can sign some paperwork and get things moving and help you on that respect, it's a little bit smoother.
What is the current coffee scene like here?
So it's improving greatly. Most of the coffee in Laos is produced down south, and not a lot of it would be classified as specialty, but that's definitely changing. In the last few years there's been a lot more smaller producers trying to improve the quality of coffee that's coming out and doing a better job with the farmers that are growing it. And we'd like to think that we're, I guess, part of that group of producers and cafes that are trying to do a really good job to represent the quality of the coffee that can be available when it's done appropriately and done well.
Okay, and do you currently export coffee?
We don't. We get asked that a lot. All of our supply at the moment is used in roasted coffee to Luang Prabang and Vientiane and a couple of other places in Laos. We get a lot of people who buy and purchase our roasted coffee in the cafes, and then they take it home to their own country, and then they want to import. But unfortunately our supply is not high enough at the moment, but we're working really hard to rectify that problem.
When do you expect to be able to export coffee?
We would expect that this harvest will have a much better idea of the growth that we've experienced within our existing villages. And in these last couple of years, we've planted a lot more trees than we have previously as well. So we're hoping, and we know that they'll come into fruit in 2019, 2020, and we can start to export in small quantities to people that value the product and will represent it well at the cafe or the restaurant where they're selling it.
Can you explain to the viewer how you guys support the local economy and kind of what you do socially?
Yeah, so I guess that we're engaged in what's called crop to cup coffee farming and direct trade with our farmers. We farm directly with them and pay our farmers directly per kilo for the coffee cherries that they harvest, and we pay significantly higher than the market price that's set at the beginning of harvest each year in November. But we also then offer free training, free seedlings or small trees, assistance with planting, and then ongoing assistance with crop maintenance and select picking and techniques like that. The second thing that we've just started recently is to try and work with cooperatives in small clusters of villages with the view to getting that cooperative to take some of the responsibility and maybe even increase the amount of accountability that a farmer has to the standards that we're trying to teach. And we will also then per kilo pay an additional price to those cooperatives as they develop.
Awesome. So on a personal level, what's your favorite thing about living in Luang Prabang?
Well, that's a good question. I love the people. I love the culture. There's a beautiful, warm-hearted people, very, very welcoming, very, very collective in nature. and it's just lovely to spend time with them. It's a real privilege for us to be able to live in a beautiful town. It's a World Heritage town. There's so many beautiful things to see, but then also to be able to go out to the villages and visit with farmers and see where the coffee's grown and engage with them in that way as well.
And lastly, if people want to visit your cafe and learn more about Lao coffee, what should they do? Where can they find you?
If you're not in Laos, then the best way is just on social media through Instagram and Facebook. We're at Saffron Coffee, and then saffroncoffee.com is our website, and you can read all about us that way. But in Luang Prabang we have 2 cafes. We have a brew bar roastery on the Mekong River, and then we have a takeaway little cafe in an alley down the river as well. And again, once you come here, you'll be able to understand what it is that at any certain time of year you can engage either just with us here at the cafe, or you can do a tour of our facilities and learn about how we produce and process coffee.
Derek, thank you so much for meeting with Expats Everywhere, and all the best with your business.
Thank you very much. Thanks for your time. Appreciate it very much.